Now I can lift from either direction. This is still kind of a little bit stuck, but I just want to gently peel this off. This is going to be my outside because it's the textured area. Standing it up. Flip my hands to the outside and just curve this around. Whoops. Try not to bump into the camera when you're doing this, folks, because nobody likes a shaky cam. And if I've done this right, my edges, those beveled edges, should meet pretty well. If I had a tube of some sort, a very rigid tube, I could wrap this slab around that tube, and this would be nice and really round, but I might not have one available, so I can just kind of do it by eyeball. Rotate this around so you guys can see the seam. So I've got this edge is going to overlap this edge, like so. And I'll give it a little bit of extra room to overlap on the outside, and just kind of pinch, and not twist a little bit, but just kind of slide that clay over on either side. Okay. It's good to get it all lined up. If you can't reach all the way down, you can always flip it over, or you can drop something on the inside if your hand can't fit in there. Something like the end of this knife, drop it on in, and you can press against that. You always have to have pressure on either side. This fresh cut clay, this seam, so I'm not too worried about scoring and slipping this seam. I think it's going to hold together just fine. And a consideration is an aesthetic one, whether or not you want this seam to be exposed. If you do, don't smooth it in all the way, but you still want to really compress these two walls together, because you do want this, of course, to hold water potentially if it's going to be a functional vase. Just flip this over. At this point, either side could be my top, either side could be my bottom. And although this is a pretty much perfect cylinder, I can manipulate it at the end to give it a bit of an undulating rim, but it's much easier to work on this with a flat top and bottom at this point, so that you can flip it over back and forth. So if you want this seam to show on the outside, I would encourage you to at least try and smooth it as much as you can on the inside to make sure that that is a really good fit. Just turn it like so. Smooth it in with your finger or a tool that you have handy. You can reach down inside and just kind of grip some of that clay and move it over across. Work on that as much as you feel comfortable with. You can get obsessive or not. Then the next step is going to be to cut and attach a base to this piece.